You're listening to Force Majeure, an actual play Star Wars podcast. My name is Adam and I'm your host, and today's episode will be brought to you after these words from our sponsors. Do you dream of holding a star in your hands? Behold a fish, it laughs. Limitations are just the walls of a house made of shadows. Dance as if your skin was a window to forever. Collect a teardrop, it is a diamond of pain. The wind. The wind. The wind. Emerald Zephyr, the new fragrance from Whom Cumble. Hello everybody and welcome back. This is the Coldfire Chronicles, Chapter 3, Resurgence. Yes, I know, at me. My name is Adam and I am your GM, and I am joined around the table by...
Hi, I'm Mikey. I play Jiren. He's a Chiss Mystic Advisor. His emotional strength is his enthusiasm, but his emotional weakness is his enthusiasm, but under a different name. It's essentially he's reckless.
Hi, I'm Mim. I play Lassa. She is a human sentinel artisan. Her emotional strength is her curiosity, and her emotional weakness is obsession.
Hi, I'm Ross. I play Agatha, a Morailan warrior aggressor, now also Colossus. My emotional strength is my pride. My emotional weakness is my anger.
Hi, my name is Ed Fortune, and I play Oberon Brick. He is a human hunter-seeker. His emotional strength is justice, and his emotional weakness is cruelty. And you will not believe how many takes that took. Yes, you will. You totally will.
Normally, at this point, we would ask our heroes a question, but I think, in fact, given where the last chapter ended, we're just going to launch straight back into it. One thing we are going to do, however, before we get on with the narrative, is roll our destiny pool. So if everybody can please roll their force die and let me know what you get.
I get 2 light side. What a lovely way to start the season.
I got 2 dark side, which is entirely expected.
I got 1 dark side.
I also got 2 light side.
And I got 1 dark side.
So our destiny pool is perfectly balanced, 4 light and 4 dark.
Adam, before we start, are we going to be doing any morality rolls at all for the last season?
No, because you did them just before you went in the Jedi Temple.
Good.
And what happened in the temple is narrative rather than mechanical.
Got you.
You wake up. You are in the chamber from your last shared vision. It is a circular chamber with a number of alcoves carved into the wall. Each alcove has a stone bench, and you find yourselves currently sat cross-legged in a meditative pose on one of those benches at the cardinal points of the compass, opposite each other, as you were when you used to meditate way back on Daxos with Pyjak. There is a single exit from this chamber, a rough-hewn stone doorway, and in an alcove right next to the doorway, Vitaara Kai is also there, also cross-legged in a meditative pose. In the centre of this chamber is that podium, the podium where previously the half-mask, collected by Davra and Coldfire, used to sit. The mask is not there, but there is something on there, something small and crystalline, and glowing with a faint yellow light. And from down the corridor, you hear Deet's voice, continuing to count.
412, 413, 414.
So it's been, in our minds, a lot longer than 413, because we were walking around the temple for at least 15 minutes before I disappeared.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, your whole sense of time is completely skewed. because you were walking around the temple for what felt to be at least 15 minutes, if not longer, each.
Yeah.
And the visions themselves, how long they took, it's like asking how long has passed in a dream, almost.
Yeah.
It could have been seconds, it could have been hours.
Agatha gets up.
Jiren is still sitting there cross-legged. He's rubbing his temples. Just with one hand, obviously.
Oh, very quickly, sorry Mike, you have reminded me. Any critical injuries you were carrying,
Yeah.
any wounds you were carrying, any strain you were carrying, have gone.
Okay.
Jiren's arm is still missing, Mikey, but you
Good.
no longer take the setback die. Your body has rebalanced itself
Nice.
to adapt to the lack of arm, at least for the moment.
Excellent. He opens one eye, just very carefully. Are we all alive?
Yes.
Where's the twee? Agatha's just looking around, just trying to find... He's sort of not sure of his senses, because he knows this place has tricked his vision before with his perception, but he's looking around, he's sort of trying to stare twice at everything, just to see how many people he can see at the moment.
Is Vitaara cross-legged and in a meditative trance as well, or is she slumped?
She's also in a meditative pose.
Okay, good. Less of a worry.
Sally, which is the research droid that accompanies Vitaara, is currently powered off and is in between Vitaara's crossed legs. Like a cat, where a cat curls up to sleep sometimes.
Yeah.
Sally is there and is currently powered off. Doesn't appear to have taken any damage, Vitaara, but is there and is off.
And Pyjack's nowhere to be seen.
No.
Carefully uncross my legs. Lassa hasn't said anything yet, so I'm going to step down and walk towards Lassa.
Lassa has her eyes tightly shut. You just see her stare a bit and go, if I were to open my eyes, is mystical stuff still going on, or should I keep them shut for a bit longer till it stops?
You feel a hand on your shoulder from the front, and you hear the voice. If you open your eyes, you'll see something you probably don't like. Hello. Jiren's smiling at her.
But it could have been worse.
Are you okay?
I'm alright, but I don't remember, I don't know, sitting down, having a bit of a chill. I don't remember any of this. We were walking along, and then there were things, I saw things, and suddenly I'm sat down here as though I'm about to have a cup of tea.
You fell down a trapdoor.
You did?
No, Lassa did.
I did, actually.
And then I lost Vitaara. And then I was here.
You all disappeared for me, and then I got attacked by darkness bats. I think is the best way of describing them.
I was in a cave with water.
I got lost in the Force. That's what it feels like.
Oh yes, totally. That's what happened. It was all internal. But,
Where's the twee? The Twi'lek? Where's the Twi'lek?
I don't think that was actually real, my friend. I think we shared a, force vision of some description.
Did anyone else go back to their past?
No.
No, not just mine, no.
No, not just mine. She looks at Jiren and Agatha and then at Oberon. So did you see it as well? The blue Twi'lek and the mask?
Coldfire.
Coldfire.
Yes.
Yeah.
The 10th brother.
Oh dear.
I kind of suspected it a while ago, but I really didn't want to speak to Pyjack about it, but yes.
Where's Pyjack?
He's not here.
That's not an answer to my question. Agatha goes towards the door.
It is. It's just not the best answer.
Agatha, we should not be too keen to tell our friend exactly what we've just seen until we've talked to each other first.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make sense. How do I tell you without telling you before I tell you?
We should not be too keen to find Pyjack and tell him everything we've seen until we talk to each other. We should talk to each other first.
He will react badly, my friend. Unless we do this carefully.
I just want to know where he is. He's not here.
Okay.
Are there any footprints? Are there footprints showing where we have come in and sat down or where someone might have gone?
Well, there was no dust on the floor in this place at all.
Yeah, there is no dust here at all. There are not even any stains around the podium, just in case that was a question that you're going to follow up with.
Well, I was going to follow it with, am I leaving footprints just walking to the door at the moment?
No.
Prinkle would be proud of these floors.
Speaking of the podium, make my way over and have a look at the thing that's glowing.
There is a small octahedral crystal. It is transparent, but at the same time giving out a very, very faint yellow light.
I would like to use my basically my hunter-seeker abilities, my tracking skills, to have a look-see of the room that we're in and figure out what the heck's going on with this room. I'm doing the classic D&D check for traps and secret passages and, surprise candy, that sort of thing.
Okay. I just want you to roll a force die, or to roll your force die.
Okay, so is that my force rating, which is 2?
Yeah.
I rolled 1 dark side and 2 light side.
That's okay. You don't need to spend them so much, that just informs the information you're about to get.
Okay.
The nature of this temple defies easy understanding, by which I mean all of your hunter's instincts that you have honed through years of your upbringing, your life, and that have been focused further by your burgeoning link to the Force, are not giving you any meaningful, how to phrase it, your instincts are telling you that they can't make sense of this place. So all the sorts of things you might look for spore, or for traps, or for hidden blinds, or ambush points, your instincts can't latch onto any of those. There is no dust here, there are no tracks, nobody's leaving any trace. There is nothing that you can sense to explain how you got into this room, how you got to those alcoves where you woke up meditating, where anybody has gone, where this crystal came from. You can't get any kind of reading. The only thing that you can get is that whatever was going to happen here for you has now happened. That sense of being at the fulcrum of events that you got when you walked into the temple the first time, and that developed throughout the course of your experience of the temple, that anticipation that there is something that is going to happen here, that event has finished. The ride has come to a stop.
Latch on to the Force with my senses, and to use the roller coaster metaphor, look for the overhead bar that I can then push up. In the sense of my mind, if there's a lingering sense of the Force and it's going, where is it coming to a stop, if you see what I mean? Where is the energy dissipating?
It is dissipating all around you. There are pulses of the Force coming from the 4 of you, but not from Vitaara.
Oh, Brunek, we should check on Vitaara. Is she alright?
At the moment, she still appears to be in a trance, but it's one that she can easily be roused from if someone goes over.
Lass is going to go over and gently, rouse her with a pat on the shoulder. You alright, my dear? Still with us?
Oh, yes. Yes, I am. Oh.
Tell me about it.
Her eyes are fixed on the podium.
Yeah, Jiren is standing about maybe 2 feet away from the podium and looks very much like... when Prinkle saw the big green orb? He's just staring at it, and his hand's out. He's not touched it yet, but you can see in his head he's going, I should probably touch that.
Oh, I think you should take it.
I think whatever caused this, we powered it.
Oh no, you've been given it.
Adam, that's as much authorization as I need. I mean, that was very close to me picking it up anyway. Jiren reaches out and takes, with the ends of his fingers, just picks up the crystal and then looks at it.
Agatha turns. He's been prowling the room for a little while. He just had no interest at all in the object, but he's just watching what happens to Jiren now.
You pick the crystal up between your fingers, and the faint yellow light stops.
Well, I broke it.
No, I think it's accepted you.
Oh, what can I roll to have a look at that? Because I think we might know what that is.
Law or warfare are the 2 primary skills. Some characters I could see making an argument for education, but probably not Lass, really knowing your background.
I'll have a bit of a go with law. What's the difficulty? I'm not very good at it, so...
The difficulty is 2 purple dice.
I'm also going to roll because that's what I'm good at.
Oberon is also going to roll, but I'm going to roll warfare, because that's where my education went.
Adam, that for me is 3 successes and 1 advantage.
I get 2 successes and an advantage.
I got 1 failure and 1 advantage, so it's fine. I'm just like, it's a pretty rock. That's what that is. That's a pretty rock.
Pretty glow rock.
Ed and Mikey, you get similar information, but very, very slightly different. So, Ed, this is a lightsaber crystal. the formation of it and the coloration when it was glowing, and now that you're kind of closer to Jiren holding it, there is a weird kind of familiarity between certain parts of what you can do and certain parts of this crystal. It is definitely a lightsaber crystal. It is not an Alpinn crystal, which is the more common type of crystal, and there is odd resonances, as I say, between some of your abilities and this crystal. Mikey, this is a lightsaber crystal.
Yeah.
It is not the standard form of crystal. It is not an Alpinn crystal. And as you're holding it and concentrating on it, you can get very fleeting, occasional, like shadows of things that might be about to happen. Just a split second before they do. But only for a few seconds while you're concentrating on it. And as soon as that realization clicks in, that connection goes.
Ed, just as you're about to speak, Jiren says, "You're right, it does."
Yes, it's a crystal of prophecy, I think.
I think you should hold it. He holds it out to Oberon.
Can I... that's going to get very quickly annoying.
I have different ways of being annoying. I don't need it.
I hold the crystal.
You feel like to maintain this effect, it is something that you will need to meditate on and forge that attunement to the crystal. But it was just there enough to give you that flavour. Like walking past a barbecue and getting that smell of smoke and meat that makes you go, "Oh, I could murder a hot dog right now." And then you know that in about an hour's time, when you finish doing your jobs, you can go out there and get one. It's that kind of, anticipation. Is that just me?
Are you
That's
hungry?
just me, isn't it? No?
So, Adam, what you're saying is that we see this crystal and it smells of destiny.
I mean,
Gotcha.
a soupçon perhaps.
We're not injured. Agatha's realising he was wounded before. He isn't, as... What's the word? When he isn't as stiff as he was before.
I'm a little injured, but I feel okay.
Yes. Okay, good. Agatha's still just not quite oriented.
Agatha, are you all right? You seem discombobulated.
I think I'm fine. I'm not sure I'm fine. I'm not injured. We were injured.
Yes, I feel like I've spent some time in recovery. I'm a little bit sore, but in a good way.
Vitaara, did you have any visions? We had visions.
I certainly saw something.
Did you see a Twi'lek?
No. There was a strange, icy world with ruins I didn't recognise on it, and a shadow growing over it. It was most odd.
Did you recognise the planet?
No, I've never been there. Not anywhere I've ever seen before, and the ruins. I didn't recognise the civilization, and I tend to recognise most of them, to be honest. I mean, I could certainly do with a brew.
Yeah, I think
Oh, cup of tea.
we should probably get out before we
I
get
should
to
probably
700.
stop
Yes.
hammering down the door.
Yeah.
Where's Deet on his countdown now?
475. 476. 477.
Do we want to stay here?
Let's get out of here. I think, from what Oberon said, whatever was going to happen has happened. I don't think we need to be here to be able to appreciate the memories of it.
No.
I reckon we could be somewhere with, I don't know, a cushion, cup of tea, chocolate bicky. That'd be nice.
We've been here 6 minutes. Deet is counting.
We've been here as long as Deet has been counting to 470-something. That doesn't necessarily mean 6 minutes.
I have difficulty with numbers too. Yes, let us get out of here.
Right, Vitaara, would you like to accompany me towards a kettle, perhaps?
That would be marvellous, dear.
Smashing.
Let us way out, and, if you don't mind me listening in, I'd love to hear about what you saw whilst you were in there.
How is your Sally droid? They seem to be powered down.
Oh, yes. I think she's powered down. We'll get her back to the base, and then I'll have a look at her. I think she's just been drained.
I bet you a credit she ain't recorded nothing. I got a feeling.
No, I very much doubt she has.
Adam, is Agatha currently still wearing his vibro knuckles? Because I think, if I remember serves, he just put them on just before he blacked out, originally in the cave.
Yes, you are.
They're not presumably actually been powered up all this whole time or anything.
No, with vibro knuckles, to stop accidentally, zapping yourself and others, there is a stud on the first knuckle that you hold down with your thumb.
Sort of dead man switch sort of thing. It just switches off when you're not pressing it. Yeah, okay. Well, I don't need to put those on then. Good.
I don't think you can punch the mystical, my lamb.
No, that's very disconcerting.
I rather think you can, just you have to know exactly what you're hitting.
Agatha likes that thought.
How does that not surprise me? Right, come on, let's have a kettle. Let's have a brew up.
Okay, so we start walking out.
It is a very short corridor. It is maybe 15 foot long or so, and then it takes a sharp left turn and goes on for about another 15 foot, at the end of which you can see the entrance chamber, and you can see Deet, who is hunkered down and is just counting away. And behind Deet you can see the big doorway that you all had to use a force to open. That is currently closed.
Okay, so here is the concerning thing. Pajak was in here with us. Where is Pajak?
Did we come out the same doorway we went into, the second one of the 5?
Yes, in terms of its position on the wall, but when you walk out you realise there are no other doorways.
Okay.
I was hoping he'd be out here waiting for us. Maybe he'd have found his own way, but...
I think he has found his own way.
Dick, darling, did anyone go past?
Oh, hello, mistress. No one has come out since I've been here. But then again, you haven't been gone very long.
No, I don't suppose we have.
We've lost Pajak.
All right. Oberon, Jiren, how do you do that reaching out thing with the force stuff and feeling other people? I did not like the way I phrased that at all, but I want you to reach out with that thing you do.
It's not something I can do.
I'm not sure it's something I can give it a go, but it's not something I've done the way you say it.
You might be able to get a sense of whether he's still in here or whether he's in danger or something. You might be able to find something. Make that force stuff work for us, all right?
Adam, I reach out with the living force. I try and see my connection in terms of like force and destiny, the future, the past. When will we meet again? But because I'm so unsure of myself, it's all a bit, wobbly rather than that kind of assured hunter's path. And I roll a light side and the dark side, and I'd like just to spend the light, please.
Okay.
I'm searching for him in the light rather than the dark.
You cast out your senses. You again drop into a meditative trance. It's becoming second nature now, this sort of trance. It always did come easy to you from the very start, really, from when you first started following this path into the living force, but it seems that whatever happened to you in this temple has made it easier to find that connection, easier to step outside of yourself and cast around the various trails of the maybes and the might have beens. You do not sense that you will see Pajak in the immediate future. You do, however, pick up his trail, and you narrow in on that, and you're walking through a cavern, a series of caves, darkened caves lit only by glowing crystals in your mind's eye, and you can see his footsteps, and slowly, the footsteps go from being made into dust to being made into snow, and his trail gets colder and colder and colder, and the crystals that were originally lighting your path with a warm, glowing, kind of yellowy orange resonance get paler and paler. The light they are giving out is colder. And then you seize upon one trail sign, one bit of spore, one leaving behind, and you realise that that is somewhere in this room by the doorway. You wake up.
I go over to the door in a kind of... I've got my hand raised in a kind of stop, hammer time sort of way, and then go over to the doorway and see what I can see.
Just in front of the door, you see Pajak's discarded helmet.
Bother, that would have had his radio in, wouldn't it?
He's gone. I I had a vision of him in some sort of cave, walking away from the light.
What do you mean he's gone? I mean, is he taking a ship, or...?
Agatha communicates with, opens a channel to Coldfire's Mercy if we can do that from here.
You know from when you first came down here that the sheer amount of tunnels and twisty canyons that you had to walk through to get here cut off radio signals.
Okay. Agatha gets a lot of static, because Agatha went for first reaction rather than instinct rather than sense like that.
Well, he's not in here. Pick up his helmet. Let's get out. Let's get back to the ship, and we'll go from there, okay?
As you pick up his helmet, Deet kind of turns round and looks at us.
Oh, that is very peculiar. That certainly wasn't here when we arrived. I wonder where it came from.
Don't worry about it, darling. We'll figure it out.
Okay, not a worry. Do you need me to open these doors then? Or do you think you can do again whatever it was that you did when you first came here?
I think we should try. I put my hand on the door.
Agatha puts his hand on the door straight away. He's actually trying to apply muscle power to it as well, which is probably completely unnecessary.
Well, it is completely unnecessary in that as soon as you start trying to pull the doors open, Agatha, they just slide open as if they were a thin screen door weighing nothing more than a whisper or a dream.
That is very strange.
Well, I did this before, I think we're just maybe better at it? I don't know.
Agatha looks straight up at the sky. Is the sun in an obviously different place than it was before?
You can't see the sky because of the canyons that you've come into.
Oh, of course, Temple was in a cave, yeah.
It's all very twisty, thin, narrow passages and lots of caves and partial caves that you had to come through. If you remember, it was a fair bit of travel away as well to the base camp, which is why you couldn't fly down here. It's a fair old journey back.
I think we should get back. And Jiren starts walking.
Agatha checks everyone's, following, and it starts walking as well.
Yeah, Lasser is going to continue walking with Vitaara.
After about, say, 10 seconds of silence, Jiren says loudly so everybody can hear, because we're a little split up, I was a blue-skinned Twi'lek. I was at a diplomatic function during the
hang on. Do you mind if I take notes?
Take as much as you like.
Sally, I really wish you were awake.
I can say it again when Sally is awake.
Vitaara, you notice that Sally's power bar is full. She's just gone into hibernation mode.
Oh, hang on. And I switch her on.
And she beeps, kind of a sleepy waking beep, and then floats up to her usual kind of about your head height, and flashes and beeps very quizzically at you.
I know it's a little bit strange at the moment, but if you could record and we'll have a chat about it later.
She beeps in the affirmative and her little red recording light pings on.
Thank you, darling.
What was Sally recording before it hibernated?
I bet you it's nothing. I bet there is nothing on there now.
She seems to have gone to sleep.
Okay. Agatha's still getting his bearings.
Okay. And Jiren explains exactly what happened during his vision, leaving out no details, including the vision of the foolhardy gambit. He digresses a little bit when it comes to speaking on the Trandoshan, who was his first mate, and goes into somewhat of a rant about untrustworthy first mates. But other than that, it's pretty much as you heard in the last episode.
Could you not wait until we had a cup of tea? I mean, this is some heavy mystical stuff. I'm not sure if I feel comfortable without a cup of tea in my hand.
I think I might have a flask somewhere.
Lasser, why don't you have a flask? What's going on? Is that you, Lasser?
I did have a flask, but I drank mine before we went into the temple.
Well, take mine, darling, take mine.
All right.
Still hot?
Well, it was all a bit mystical, really. And you know I don't like that stuff normally, but I guess I have. And she looks uncomfortable and almost... It's almost like this is being pulled out of her, and she hates the fact that she's having to admit this. I suppose I do slightly understand this force connection thing, I think.
I agree. Ignoring observations is not very scientific, is it?
It's a perfectly natural, reasoned phenomenon. There must be a reason and a basis to it. And she explains how she recognised her old mentor and friend, Dougie. And she explains how she was the Twi'lek and the mask. And she's very interested to know about the differences other people what other people saw of his mind, and also what bits were just hers and what bits everyone saw. When she gets to the bit about him cutting off his leku, she wants to know if everybody saw that bit.
I saw that bit.
I saw that, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he did what?
I know.
It looked like he was close to falling, and he was very injured for some reason. He was in Clone Wars armor, and what he did was he took his lightsaber and he sliced off both sides of the leku.
I didn't think they could do that. I mean, I thought that was pretty bad for them.
Well, it's where your brain goes.
Oh, you telling me he lobotomized himself? Himself?
Seemingly, he was quite angry, did you not see?
You're all right, but I've been quite angry, and
I notice you don't have any leku.
she sits and sips her tea with a judgmental, hateful, listen here, you little, look on her face, but says nothing else.
As I understand it, and, like, I'm not a Twilight, obviously, and I don't really know any Twi'leks, but is it not where they connect their emotions and their kind of their sense of self, where their soul lies?
It's your empathy.
Which makes sense, given what I saw.
That answers an awful lot of questions.
And I relate. I'm kind of halting, because, like, Obi-Wan's, like, on a back foot, emotionally. Like, he's less assured than he has been, a little bit, because he's still trying to figure it all out, if you see what I'm saying. And he goes, well, my vision, I was back at the carrion spike. And it's strange, because the choice I made in the real world was not the choice that I made in the vision. I took another path. I took a harder path. I took a path that was further towards the light, but still a harder path.
So it gave you a second chance?
Only in my mind's eye. I mean, everything that I've done, I've still done. I'm still responsible for my actions. I can't just simply say, oh, but I've changed. That's not how it works.
It is funny you should say that, because it gave me a chance to do something different. And I did exactly the same as I did last time. I have not learned a thing. This is great.
I didn't get that.
If I had the time again, I would do it differently, but of course that's not how it works. But I got the sense of understanding what I would have gone through had I made that choice. I wouldn't be here. I'd probably be dead, because I'm much more competent now than I was then. But still, I'm less scared. Certainly less scared of my father.
I didn't go for the easy choice because I didn't make the easy choice last time, so...
And yes, and unfortunately Coldfire made the easy choice.
You can't change your past. It is important to learn on it. If you change it, you learn nothing.
He abandoned his Padawan. He left someone to die.
He was in battle. Agatha is going to retell only the bit which occurred in the battle side of his particular vision.
Yeah.
I saw he was with several clone troopers. Pyjak was one of them. There were 6 of them. And he was facing an enemy. They were begging him to retreat. I do not know what decision he made.
What decision did you make? Because that's the crux of it all, wasn't it?
They weren't supporting his action to go to defeat the I don't know I don't know if he would have made the same decision Agatha made.
What decision did you make?
Agatha attacked the creature. The droid, they wanted to flee, but you can't run from fear forever. You have to face. He's deliberately not I'm deliberate. He's just deliberate and just not trailing off there. He's still piecing it together.
Oh no, I get it. Jiren reaches up and pats Agatha on the shoulder. You'll figure it out.
Anyone else get the impression that we were just all tested by something?
I always have that impression.
We're tested now. Pyjak isn't here.
Good point.
Was someone else here? Did they take Pyjak?
No.
The Twi'lek was not here.
No. Well, the Twi'lek was here, but a while ago.
I think it was a long time ago. Aye.
I feel less like we were tested and more like we were interrogated.
Sometimes the two things are not very far away from each other.
Thank you. I was thinking of a way of saying that. I think it's both.
It got into our heads.
I have a theory that we all saw the same thing at the end. Can we assume that Pyjak saw the same as well?
Pyjak is not force sensitive.
No, but Nor's Vitaara and she saw something.
There's got to be a reason why he had left in such a hurry, and I think the only thing that would make me, if I was Pajak, so crazy as to leave his helmet. He loves that helmet. So crazy as to leave his helmet would be finding out that Davra and Coldfire, there's a dramatic pause, is 10th brother.
Well, I certainly didn't see that.
What did you see?
I just saw a strange icy world that I've never seen before.
Oh, yes. And a ruin.
Yeah, a ruined civilization that I don't recognise.
We came from an ice planet. Well, an ice moon, I suppose.
It didn't want me there. I got the impression that it didn't want me there. That I was there possibly almost by accident, and it was pushing me away. It was waiting, but not for me. When
I tried to reach out, I got the sense of frost and ice as well.
Did it feel like Daxos?
I don't know. Daxos came with other baggage. I couldn't tell you now.
You see one ice planet, you see them all. That's why I'm here. Okay. Keep walking.
Well, if he's gone to another planet, he would have taken the ship, surely. Maybe we should get back to the ship.
I'm going to pick up the pace a little.
We have 2 ships. Vitaara has a ship.
I have a ship, yes.
We're not... Well, we could be stranded here either way if both ships are gone. You should hurry up.
He would have bumped into Prinkle, and there's a chance that Prinkle would not have let him... We should keep going. Jiren walks even quicker.
Your actual journey back to the camp is minorly eventful, in that the route that you took down here appears to have been blocked by a rockfall.
What I would ask at the rockfall is I would turn to Ed and ask if this has been taken down by any sort of explosive.
Go.
Which is possibly a warfare roll, I would say.
Yeah, warfare roll for me, please, Ed. The difficulty is going to be, I think, 3 purple.
Ooh.
The reason being that you're on the far side of it, if you see what I mean.
1 success and 1 disadvantage.
I'm going to bank that threat. Your success, though, is that yes, this is not a natural rockfall. This has been triggered. You can't exactly work out whether it was triggered by one explosive or several explosives or mining explosives or grenades or just an awful lot of blaster fire at sensitive points, but this is not a natural rockfall. Someone has acted to block this path.
Gotcha.
He takes about a minute and then comes away with soot on his fingers and goes, yeah, that was on purpose.
I thought so. Good. He is still alive. Let's try to find a way around.
You do manage to find a way around. It takes a bit of time, and you get to the top of one of the crystalline cliffs just as the sun is starting to set. And you're overlooking the archaeological dig site, and you can see that in the main building where you first met Vitaara, there are lights on in there, and the main door is open. You had left all the lights off when you left. Basically, you shut it all down. The lights are on, the door is open. And Coldfire's mercy has gone.
Oh.
And that is where I'm ending today's episode. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Thank you very much to my players. And, of course, thank you very, very much to Lou for joining us once again as Vitaara. Thank you very much, Lou. I hope this was a suitable return to the Coldfire Chronicles. We will see you all next time for episode 2. Stay safe and see you later. Force Majeure is played using the Star Wars Force and Destiny game system by Fantasy Flight Games and Lucas Books. Our intro music for this season is Unholy Night by Kevin MacLeod, and our outro music remains Suburban Outlaw by Forget the Whale, both used with gratitude under the Creative Commons license. If you like the show and want to interact with us, we are on Twitter, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, all of which are at Force Majeure Pod, though Twitter is probably where you're going to find us more regularly. If you enjoy what we do and want to support the show, there's 3 ways you can do that. The first is via our Patreon at patreon.com/forcemajeurepod. The second is by buying us a coffee at ko-fi.com/forcemajeurepod. And the third way is by rating and reviewing us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, anywhere where you can find us. We really like reviews. It tells us that we're telling the stories that you want to hear and helps other people find us. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next time.